And the teams are out on the field here at St Mary's before the first South Coast derby of the season, the first in the league for 13 years. Since then, Pompey almost dropped out of the league itself. Southampton have had their time in the Premier League, but they are back in the Championship once again, and Pompey looking to build on their survival last season. And the smoke is drifting across the stadium from both sets of supporters. The smoke bombs let off, and also the pre-match pyrotechnics from Southampton, and under grey skies we are set for some afternoon here at St Mary's. And we heard there from Andre Gazelle, Scott Minto, one of a number of very good signings made by John Mousinho. He's a young manager. His first job, of course, he stepped out from being a player to take the job at Pompey, but he's got good people around him helping him to make the right decisions.
Yeah, just on Andre Gazelle, I think he's arguably been Pompey's best player so far this season. He's certainly gone under the radar, just the role that he plays there. Really good. He's a good passer of the ball. He can go long if he needs to, but he keeps it simple. He's just a really good reader of the game. In terms of the manager, I really like him to the point where, and Pompey fans won't like me saying this, I'm not sure he's going to be Pompey manager in 12 to 24 months' time. I think he's that good. The job that he's done, getting the club out of the division, I think he's adaptable. The horrendous fixture list he was given at the beginning of last season, and yet still somehow came through that and kept Pompey up. Ironically enough, last season was all about their home form. Actually, the home form hasn't been as good as the away form this season, but when it comes to a game like this, the cliches come out. Honestly, form goes out the window, it really does. Southampton should win this one. They have the better players individually and collectively. That doesn't mean anything in a derby like this.
And both teams in their pre-match huddle before kick-off. Pompey in their blue shirts, white shorts and red socks. Southampton in their strip, which is a throwback to the 1976 FA Cup final winning team 50 years ago this season. They've got the red and white stripes, black shorts and white socks, and we are all set here at St Mary's. It is Portsmouth who will get the game underway, attacking the goal away to our right in the first half. This promises to be brutal. It will be sulphurous. It is the South Coast derby, and after 4,908 days, Southampton and Portsmouth are reunited in league action. The moment the fixture list was published, this was the game that both sets of supporters were looking for. And now it's here, and it's going to be a day that nobody inside this stadium will forget for some time. Mark Donoghue, our referee, it's a big day for him as well, as we were hearing. And the smoke is still drifting across the playing surface here on a grey autumnal afternoon. And it's Portsmouth who get the game underway. Live and exclusive on the home of the EFL, TalkSport 2, the only national radio station to bring you the South Coast derby and all of the big games from up and down the EFL this season, as Pompey play it long downfield straight away. It's headed out of field at the play, and it will be a throw-in which Swanson will take, and it's Will Still, the Southampton manager, who leaves his technical area to gather the ball for Portsmouth, and straight away he gets a warning from the referee.
Well, he's run past John Mousinho and the fourth official, because the ball's just there and no Pompey player is trying to pick it up, so you almost get the feel that if Pompey aren't trying to time waste already, which is a bit early in the game for that, but Will's still trying to make it seem to the referee that Pompey are going to be doing that. So yeah, he wants his team to be playing at 100 miles an hour and a real high intensity. He's perhaps just a little bit over-eager there.
Nicholas Schmidt clears it long downfield, looking for the captain Bishop, headed away though by Harwood Bellis, and it will be another throw-in on this near side, and this time the fourth official, Stephen Martin, does the ball boy duties. There is a ball boy sat on this near side under that peroxide mop, I think it is, just in front of us, but he's not moved. Swanson with the throw-in, headed infield by Bishop, hooked up in the air by Downs on the edge of the Saints penalty area, quickly played forward again towards Connor Chaplin. Saints play it long downfield, Archer in pursuit, and he will step in there initially before Shaughnessy, but then he runs the ball out of play, and in front of the Pompey fans on the far side, it will be a throw-in to Portsmouth. These two clubs only 19 miles apart, but the Portsmouth supporters were all bubbled in for this game. Irrespective of where you live, you had to travel to Fratton Park this morning, pick up your match ticket, get on a coach, and they'll be dropped off there later on today. And I know for a fact there are one or two Pompey fans who live very close to St Mary's who've had to make the journey to Portsmouth. They've come back to within a stone's throw of their house, and they'll have to go back and come back again today. But that's often the way it is for days like today.
Yeah, it's been done before. I think it's probably wise. Hopefully there will be no problems outside or inside the stadium, but got to be careful with security.
Bishop with a cross in, 2.5 minutes played, 0-0, cleared away by Harwood Bellis at the near post, and it will be a throw in for Pompey, a couple of yards from the corner flag down their left, and they have made the better start to this game.
I think territorially, definitely, but you can definitely see that they're just walking towards the ball when it goes out for a throw-in or a corner. Happened on 4 or 5 occasions now. They're just trying to slow the game down, not let Southampton and the fans really get in it early on.
And the corner kick has been given in the end. Josh Murphy will take it. And one or two Southampton fans, more than one or two on the far side, are just suggesting that the ball isn't in the quadrant and something's been thrown towards Josh Murphy, a lighter or something similar, and he's gathered that and handed it to the referee, Matt Donoghue, and he will come all the way across to this near side to hand this on towards the fourth official.
Let's hope there's not too many more idiots throwing things onto the pitch. It does look like it's a lighter of some kind. Come on. Let's talk about the football.
We'll spot the ball up once again. There are plenty of stewards and police in that corner of the ground. The Pompey fans are down towards the other end of the stadium. Murphy's delivery in towards that near post, and in the end it's gathered by Bazunu, the former Pompey player in the Southampton team. A number of notable players have featured for both. Peter Crouch going further back, Barry Horn, and the late Bobby Stokes, who scored the winner for Southampton in the FA Cup final 50 seasons ago. He also spent time along the south coast at Fratton Park as Harwood Bellis heads it wide to this near side. Manning, who has gone back to a full-back position today. Southampton have switched from a back three to a back four once again. Taken down by Segicic, the Australian. And now an opportunity for Chaplin to get on the ball. Segicic makes the run to the right. Chaplin continues, fires the ball in, and it was a shot, but it almost turned out to be a cross for Bishop, who lunged in, just unable to get the touch, and it's behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, really good play, really direct play from Connor Chaplin there. Back wearing a Pompey shirt, just goes in between two Southampton players. He shoots on his right foot. It's not a good strike at all, but it does come towards Colby Bishop, who's lunging for the ball and can't quite get there. Certainly a dangerous attack. There's no doubt about it that Portsmouth have started better so far just in these early few minutes.
5 minutes played, 0-0 here, the South Coast derby on TalkSport 2. Chaplin hooks it forward, Bishop claiming he was blocked off there as he tried to make the run down the centre, and in the end it's all the way back towards Bazunu. No free kick given. Taylor Harwood Bellis on this near side, wide towards Manning, and he was quickly closed down by Segicic. Sign from Sydney, and there's clearly a link up between Portsmouth and the Australian leagues, because they've had one or two players making that long journey from down under over the last couple of years. Manning will take the throw-in on this near side. Chase for Fraser, but hooked away by Regan Poole, and it will be a throw-in for Southampton midway inside the Portsmouth half. And we have two balls on the pitch at the moment, but Manning will eventually take the throw-in. All the Pompey fans on their feet in their enclosure on the far side. Manning looking for movement in towards Finn Azaz, and now Archer back towards Downs. Fraser holding his width down the left hand side. Manning will now find Fraser. Archer and Azaz towards the edge of the penalty area. And it's all the way back to Harwood Bellis. It's rather lumped forward, looking for Archer, headed away though by Poole. Fraser will try and keep the ball in play on this near side, but he can't do so. And Saints will have a throw-in, but they're just beginning to take an early grip on possession with 7 minutes played and no goals. And now an opportunity for Fellows, who want a header, a low cross into the penalty area. Cleared away though, well at the near post by Poole. Just for a second there, Pompey was stretched.
Yeah, and that's because Conor Ogilvie wanted to get close to Tom Fellows and just got completely under the ball, and he headed it in his pass. It was like he took himself out the game while keeping the ball on the pitch. Tom Fellows goes down the right, takes one touch, whips it in. And there's a good touch in the end. Just making sure no Saints player could get on the end of it, but you know, the first time, one, they're getting really dangerous inside the box, but two, they're starting to get hold of the ball, Southampton.
And both Finn Azaz and Tom Fellows cost a combined £25 million between them, as Chaplin has been fouled there by Downs, and it will be a free kick for Pompey inside the centre circle. Pompey did recoup £123 million in transfer fees over the summer, but they spent over £50 million themselves. The cross into the penalty area, cleared away by Harwood Bellis at the near post, and then the shot, fired back in from long range from Segicic, and it comes back off the crossbar. Goodness me, what an effort that was. And in the end, in fact, the shot was driven in by Dizelle, and it came back off the crossbar with Bazunu nowhere.
Well, I just talked about how Southampton are starting to get on the ball. There's got to be better communication between Gavin Bazunu and I think it was Jack Stevens, who just stretches his leg out. The ball comes to Andre Dizelle. I talked about what a good player he is. He's not really known for his goal scoring, but he's on the edge of the box. Bazunu's got no chance. It hits the bar and comes out. And Southampton got away with that one.
Andre Dizelle scored the winning goal in the victory against Preston earlier this season. 2 1-0 wins for Pompey so far against Oxford and North End. They lost at home to Norwich, but they drew at West Bromwich Albion. Only 1 loss in 9 going back towards the end of last season as well, as a long ball into the area for Pompey looking for Bishop is cleared. Archer on the halfway line, beaten to it by Poole. Hooked forward now by Swanson, in towards Chaplin again, but Saints will clear. And at the moment, it's possible that Saints have rather been drawn into the game that Pompey want them to play by playing the ball long.
Yeah, it's not as if Pompey are sort of really at them with a high intensity, high press at all, but they are definitely territorially getting the ball into Southampton's box and then winning the knockdowns. I think that was a perfect example where the cross came in, it was cleared out, but Dizelle was first to it. The first time shot, so unlucky that didn't just hit the bar at the underside of it and go in, but there's no doubt about it, the Pompey tactics are working at the moment.
Fraser heads it forward, 10 minutes played on TalkSport 2. Southampton 0, Portsmouth 0, but Pompey have had the game's best opportunity so far. And they have a throw-in now just on the halfway line, which Zach Swanson will take. Coming up over on TalkSport later on, Natalie Sawyer with Game Day Live today. We saw Sam Matterface earlier on. He's got his television duties here today. Perry Groves and Mickey Gray will be alongside Natalie. All the goals as they go in from the Premier League and the WSL. Burnley against Liverpool and the Manchester Derby coming up later on. As Pompey try and build on this near side. Harwood Bellis heads away, and then Bishop is penalised for a nudge on Manning, and it will be a free kick. John Massinho having words with the fourth official, Stephen Martin, in front of us.
He's been talking to him almost since kick-off.
Well, I think we've seen both managers so far trying to produce the mind games in the early moments in their different ways. 2 managers, both under the age of 40, involved in their first South Coast derby, as Segicic was fouled on this near side, and it will be a free kick. It was Shea Charles who made the challenge. Swanson with a long diagonal, swirled straight out of play on the far side.
Just in these type of games, especially when not exactly they're under pressure, but they haven't started the better. Just keep it simple. Especially when you've got a free kick there, just Just take the ball, just pass it to the next man, get a bit more confidence that way. If you want to go long, fine, but I don't think that is Will Still's tactics. But yeah, Pompey are coming here and they're quite happy to not play ugly, but just play the basics, play the percentages, and at the moment they're looking more comfortable. But scores 0-0.
Schmidt plays it wide to the far side, and Shaughnessy was quickly challenged as he tried to play the ball down the line, but Saints have it back. And now Harwood Bellis wide towards Manning, and Manning with the ball in behind again. Archer looking to get there before Paul. He couldn't do so, but he left something on Paul as he made the challenge, and it will be a throw-in on this near side. And Cameron Archer looks pumped up for this at the moment. Very good goal scoring record in the Championship, 19 in 44 games. Of course, had various loan spells during his time with Aston Villa. Played well for Middlesbrough, amongst others. 2 goals already this season. And Saints looking to bounce back to the Premier League at the first attempt. On the second successive occasion, of course, it took time for Russell Martin to get the message across. 4 successive defeats in September 2 years ago, and things unravelled very quickly early on, but in the end they were their only losses in the opening 30 games, and they went on to win the playoffs. Segicic closed down though by Downs on this near side. Manning rather fisted into the feet of Fraser, who can't control, and then Segicic has been caught by Manning right in front of the technical areas, and it will be a free kick for Pompey on the halfway line. With 13 minutes played on TalkSport 2, Southampton 0, Portsmouth 0.
Yeah, Ryan Manning fizzed that into Ryan Fraser, and look, he's better than that, and he should have a better touch, but you can just see it's just not quite happening at the moment for Southampton. It's one of those where, look, you're not playing particularly well, just make sure you don't concede, because you will get better in the game. You'll have a bit more confidence with the passing. I couldn't be more impressed with how Portsmouth has started so far. They're coming to the Lions' Den and they're bossing it with and without the ball, really.
Now Swanson coming forward. Segicic in support on the right. It's a good ball in. The clearance falling to Chapman. The shot though closed down by Charles on the edge of the penalty area. And more indifferent Saints defending there, almost giving Pompey the opening. Now Ogilvie coming forward down the left. High cross into the penalty area, cleared as far as Chaplin, and now Segicic on this near side. Appeals for handball, mainly from the crowd, and nothing given. And at the moment, when Saints clear it, they're giving it straight to blue shirts on the edge of their own penalty area.
Yeah, and the clearances aren't good enough, first and foremost, but then midfielders just aren't getting hold of the ball, so it's just a question of this ball going long or Pompey winning the second balls.
Now it's swirled in by Gazelle, looking for Bishop at the near post, and it's deflected high over the top, and it will be a corner kick for Portsmouth, and they are right on top here.
It's a great ball in, it really is. And Josh Murphy, there was talk about perhaps Leicester would be coming in for him. Derives the offer for what he's worth, and Pompey fans are nowhere delighted that he stayed. That's what he can do, get past the full-back. A wonderful ball in with his left foot as well. And that is really good defending from Taylor Harwood Bellis, because if that goes anywhere near on target, Bazunu would have had no chance to react.
Josh Murphy receives the short corner, lofts it high to the far post. Ogilvie going for it, fisted away by Bazunu, and Bazunu was fouled, and it will be a free kick for Southampton with 15 minutes played, and they really need to take a breather here, because one or two of them do seem to be wrapped up in the atmosphere.
Yeah, look, you know, it's almost like Pompey have the clear heads. And by the way, there's absolutely no foul there. Bazuna's come out, he's punched the ball, he's come across a Pompey player who's just stood there. How can that be a foul? But yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I say Southampton have the better players, but it's all about the occasion. Now, again, you talk about cliches, and in a way it is, but the cliches are there for a reason. Pompey are able to handle the occasion a little bit better in the first 15 minutes, and the only disappointing thing from their point of view might be that they haven't actually scored. But so far, so good for them.
Now it's hooked on, and Schmidt coming way outside his goal to fight for possession on the far side, and that was an interesting challenge. Tom Fellows collided with him. Schmidt has also collided with Ogilvie, and both the goalkeeper and the fullback are lying injured at the moment. The referee has given a free kick to Portsmouth, but the goalkeeping there from Nicholas Schmidt was unorthodox, to say the least.
He doesn't need to come out, Nigel. He really doesn't. You've got to let your fullback deal with it. And in the end, I mean, he's got a little bit of a hand on his back, but the keeper's come out and taken out Ogilvie.
Well, both Schmidt and Ogilvie are receiving treatment here. I think Ogilvie may have a real problem because he wasn't set for the contact, because you wouldn't anticipate your goalkeeper to come flying out from there.
And if he was, that loud shout should be coming, but clearly didn't, because he didn't move out the way. So yeah, when you're not expecting something, certainly you can't prepare your body for the impact that's just about to happen. Hopefully he will be okay, and he's a tough player. He certainly won't want to be taken off in the first half of Southampton versus Portsmouth. He might have no choice. Still down.
A number of Pompey players coming in to talk to John Mousinho. I have to say, I was covering the Charlton-Millwall game yesterday. There was a ludicrous goalkeeper injury in that game when Kaminsky went down for Charlton just after the red card, and everybody went in to have an impromptu timeout. But there's certainly an injury here, and it could be a wrist injury as well for Schmidt.
No, and I mean a wrist injury for Schmidt, which obviously if he can't catch the ball, he's going to have to come off. Ogilvie's still on the ground at the moment, but I think he'll be okay.
Ben Killip, the goalkeeper, is warming up on this near side. Jordan Williams, who is a right back, is also getting ready potentially to come on, and the treatment is still continuing here. Ogilvie is now sat up, just rubbing the back of his neck, and I think he's got a fairly large bruise developing on his shaven head there.
Very large bump. It's probably only going to get bigger. As I say, he's a tough defender. He's got a great left foot, loves to bomb on when possible. Well, he will not want to come off, but when it comes to a goalkeeper, I'm sorry, whether you want to come off or not, if your hands, you've done something to it, you simply do.
Well, Schmidt is just flexing his right wrist at the moment. The gloves are off. Ogilvie, they're going through all of the concussion checks for him.
Tell you what as well, if I'm Will Still now, or any of the coaching staff, I'm saying to my players, you make sure 30 yards out, or maybe even a little bit longer, have a shot and make sure it's to the keeper's right. Just test that hand in the next 5 or so minutes.
Well, Schmidt is still talking to the medical team. Ogilvie looks okay to carry on. It looks like he's going to have a fairly eggy bruise on the top of his head tomorrow morning.
It's getting bigger since I last saw it 20 seconds ago.
But now Schmidt is trying to get the glove back on. He looks to be in real pain, but he will carry on for now. Killip and Williams, the two potential replacements, have gone back to the bench. In fact, Killip is now heading down the tunnel, so maybe he is getting ready.
But hold on a second. One, Southampton have to, clearly, because he's in agony, you can see as he's putting on that glove, have to get a shot on goal, get hold of the ball, get as close to the goal as possible, but even if you're not that close, have a shot. Two, how was your goalkeeper on the substitutes bench not got his gloves? I'm assuming it's his gloves he's gone in for. There's no other reason for it. You've got to be ready.
Not a time for a comfort break. Well,
there's too much coffee already.
The delay there was about 3 minutes, and now the long ball forward from the free kick which was given, and I have to say I'm not sure it was a free kick.
No, I thought the keeper clashed into his left back. Anyway. Fellows he didn't really seem to have a go at the ref about it, did he? But he did put his hand on Ogilvie, but for me that wasn't a foul, not that way.
And Southampton with Stevens. Long downfield, looking for Archer, headed away though by Shaughnessy. And Shaughnessy going back towards Schmidt on the ground, so that wrist won't be tested here. And Killip is now back around the technical area, and he is still warming up, the goalkeeper. He did feature in the final 2 games of last season. There's a high-hanging ball on the far side, is quickly hooked away by Rudeslev, the former Brentford player. But now Dazelle, wide towards Murphy. His brother had a good game for Newcastle yesterday against Wolves. Ogilvie. And now John Swift taking over. Both managers very animated on the edge of the technical area. 22 minutes played here on TalkSport 2. Southampton 0, Portsmouth 0, but Pompey have hit the bar, and there's also been a lengthy injury delay involving the Portsmouth goalkeeper as Murphy tries to shuffle beyond Rudeslev on the far side, but it's out of play and Portsmouth will have a throw-in.
Yeah, well, two things. One, you can see when Josh Murphy, as soon as he picks up the ball, he knows he's got Rudeslev for pace. He's trying to get past him. He did it a few minutes ago, whipped in a great cross, tried to get past him again there. Rudeslev, to be fair, got the touch and is out for a throw-in, but he definitely believes Murphy got the better of him.
Well, Killip does look as though he's preparing to come on, but we'll have to wait and see.
Well, my second thing was, I don't know why Southampton aren't just high press, get that ball back. It's exactly what they're doing now, and then have a shot on goal.
Well, Finazaz was trying to press there, but he fouled Regan Paul, and it will be a free kick. And also, I know it's not necessarily the Southampton way, but get some crosses in.
It's gone down again. That's what I mean, just in the last 3 or 4 minutes, why not just high press, go for it. Clearly he's not right, test him on his right hand side, and it could be a goal. And a save he'd normally make ends up being a goal, and Southampton haven't done that.
Well, it will be, I think, a goalkeeping change here.
Yes.
Both teams are heading into the two technical areas to have words once again. And Schmidt clearly is in some pain. He is in some trouble, and you just wonder whether he'll be able to carry on.
Well, look, I'm going to say it's his own fault, but it's his own fault. He didn't need to come out. He should have just let Ogilvie deal with it, and there was even a stage where he started to come, and he should have read the situation that he wasn't going to get there in time. Just let Ogilvie get there and head it back. There's a slight push in the back, Ogilvie into the keeper, and that's where the referee's given it, but maybe Tom Fellows could have been a little bit cleverer, seen that let's just wait and see, let's not give away any kind of foul at all in what would have been a dangerous situation. And in the end, both full-back and goalkeeper were on the floor. He would have been able to capitalise on that.
Well, he's coming off, and Schmidt is walking very slowly, which of course is giving Killip time to get ready.
Principle's the same now. Nige, have a shot goal as quickly as possible. You know, maybe try and gauge it first. Don't just shoot for the sake of, 30 yards out and it's a simple save, and then the goalkeeper will get more confidence. But even if you're an outfield player, you're not really expecting to come on in the first half. So psychologically, you're kind of relaxed. You're not ready in game mode, whereas you are in the second half. But the goalkeeper even more so. So there's no doubt about it, he won't be 100% ready for this. So they can get into good positions, Portsmouth. Again, test the keeper, crosses, shots, get him in early.
Well, there's an embrace between Nicholas Schmidt and Ben Killip. I mean, Killip is not some callow youngster. He's 29 years of age. He's got a lot of football behind him, notably with Barnsley. He did play towards the end of last season, but now he has an unexpected opportunity here in the South Coast derby.
It's a blow for Portsmouth, though. I mean, the Austrian only cost £250,000. He's been a great find. He's been a really, really good goalkeeper. In fact, there's even been chat amongst the Pompey fans and podcasts as to whether he's been the best Pompey goalkeeper since David James. Now, of course, they've been at different levels, so to get anyone, I played with David James, what a top keeper he was, but even just to
David James used to rush out like that as well.
Yes, he did. He crashed into me a couple of times. No, but you knew it. Trust me, the whole stadium would know that he was coming, and Ogilvie would have got out of the way for sure.
Now Manning has the opportunity to bring it forward here and find Fraser. Fraser looking to take on Segacic, but in the end it goes all the way back to Charles. But Saints do have a number of players forward here inside the penalty area, but again, you've got the new goalkeeper, and they're not ostensibly looking to test him. The way they're playing hasn't changed particularly in the short term, but maybe now as Azaz is unable to gather on the edge of his penalty area, and it's quickly played long downfield looking for Colby Bishop, but it will go straight out of play, and it will be a throw in here for Southampton. 27 minutes played on TalkSport 2. Southampton 0, Portsmouth 0. The most significant moment so far, Pompey hitting the bar through Andre Dazelle, and their goalkeeper Nicholas Schmidt taken off injured. And it's a throw in, delivered by Manning up towards the halfway line. Archer was having his shirt ripped off his back there by Regan Poole on the halfway line, and it will be a free kick for Southampton. And Stevens will transfer it wide to the far side, and Rulesled in towards Archer again, and the referee gets in the way, so that'll be a drop ball.
Poor touch in the ref, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's been obviously because one of the substitution and two felt like longer than 3 minutes that the players were down for. It's just been a bit bitty since then. Pompey made a really good start. I think their tactics were spot on, trying to slow the game down but territorially get the ball into Southampton's half. Southampton not clearing it very well, but as I say, the last 5-10 minutes, nothing really has been happening.
28 minutes played, 0-0. As Murphy tries to gather on the far side and take on Rulesled, but it rebounds out of play off the Dane, and it will be a Pompey throw-in. The Champions League is back this week across the TalkSport network. TalkSport 2, 5:45 on Tuesday for Athletic Bilbao against Arsenal with Joe Shannon and Perry Groves. And kick off with Adrian Durham. We'll have all the goals as they go in, and there'll be more commentary here on 2 from the Carabao Cup third round. Brentford against Aston Villa with Ian Danta and Darren Ambrose. And then on Wednesday, Liverpool against Atletico Madrid, live from Anfield with Adrian Durham, Jim Proudfoot and Dean Ashton. And here on 2, Bayern against Chelsea with Sam and Andy Townsend. Low cross into the penalty area for Murphy on the far side, looking for Chaplin. Is cleared away by Manning, and it will be a throw into Portsmouth down their left. Then on Thursday, what a game, Newcastle against Barcelona on TalkSport with Natalie Sawyer, Jim and Troy Deeney. Manchester City against Napoli is over on TalkSport 2 with Ian Danta and Mickey Gray. All those games coming up live on the TalkSport network this week. And game day next Saturday will also bring you the Merseyside derby. Half an hour played here in the South Coast derby in the Championship. Southampton, of course, winning here on the opening day of the season. 2 very, very late goals to beat Wrexham, but they've been beaten here by Stoke and also drawn with Ipswich and Watford, and they've got a trip to Liverpool in the Carabao Cup coming up the week after next. Another way to Hull City in their next league game. Pompey have a home game with Sheffield Wednesday. Oh, a backhander there by Downs under pressure, almost into the path of Sekic.
Well, there were 3 Southampton players that went for the same ball, so obviously there was going to be a spare Pompey player, and it's lucky that went back to the keeper there. They're just giving the ball away all the time at the moment.
Chaplin now down the right hand side for Pompey, just held up by Charles, but it's infield to Swift, wide towards Chaplin again down the right, jinking onto the left foot. Low cross though was blocked by Charles, and Pompey have a throw-in on this near side.
The thing is, Pompey are pressing really well, so as much as Southampton are saying, OK, we'll play, clearly it's not to the Russell Martin style, so they've been told, right, if it's too tight, then go long, but they're going long, and they're not really giving Cameron Archer a chance with the big 2 centre-halves that Pompey have, so it's coming straight back all the time. If they are going to go long, they've just got to drop it a little bit short, so the centre-halves have to come through Cameron Archer, not up in the air, then there's a header, and there's only going to be one winner. It's not going to be Archer.
Now Manning in the left back area, clears it long downfield up to the halfway line. Archer again Losing out to Poole. Swift is quickly around him as well to offer support. Shaughnessy wide to the far side, and Ogilvie. And now Murphy with a big switch from left to right. Good ball as well to find Sekicic. He comes in field onto the left foot, fires in the shot into the body of Fraser. Now Swift back to the halfway line and Poole again. And Swift can open out the angle down the right-hand side and lofted into the path of Sekicic again. Was he shoved over by Harwood Bellis? Not according to the referee, and it will be a goal kick.
It was just about allowed, just about legal. There's no doubt about it. Pompey on top again. After what's been a very bitty sort of 10 minutes to do with the substitution and players going down, Pompey have now got control of it. Southampton just giving the ball away. They can't handle the press.
And Pompey coming forward again, but Swanson's ball in field is cut out by Downs. And you look at the stats, Saints have not had a single shot of any nature so far with 33 minutes played. But now, Azaz plays it wide to Fellows on the right-hand side. He'll look to tease Ogilvie. Deep into the penalty area, drives in the cross, which is deflected off Ogilvie, and it's behind for Saints' first corner.
Yeah, good defending, firstly, from Ogilvie. It's what you want to see from Tom Fellows, just get into the box. Bursleb tried to do that, help him there by going on the inside, but really just let him go, let him have that one-on-one situation. And almost the first time in the whole game since kick-off that Southampton fans are able to get behind their side.
Fraser will take the Saints corner in front of the Pompey fans on the far side, and it's an outswinger high towards Stevens, nodded away though by Swanson, and then Manning with Saints' first shot on goal, but it's way over the top.
Well, look, I don't want to give him too much stick. You mentioned that Wrexham game. I was here for that one where he came on and made the difference. He made an assist, but the goal that he scored from 30 yards out, the free kick, was absolutely sensational. Although that was kind of bouncing away from him, he almost had to be a contortionist to try and wrap his foot around it. But we do know he's got a great left foot. But at least Southampton, from their point of view, are spending a bit of time in Pompey's half and even having a shot, even if it's not on target.
In the WSL, Aston Villa 0, Chelsea 1. Aggie Beever-Jones with the first goal at Villa Park. And at Hayes Lane, the home of Bromley, London City Lionesses are 2-0 down to Manchester United. A Maya Letizier penalty, and Jade Riviere has just scored the second. 0-0 here with 34 minutes played on TalkSport 2. And at the moment, Pompey have been the better side, but they're yet to score. And Finn Azaz, one of the big signings from Middlesbrough, just running the ball out of play. And I remember seeing him on loan down in League 2 a couple of years ago, and you thought, blimey, if he develops, he'll be a hell of a player. And maybe at the age of 24, this is still part of his development.
Yeah, absolutely. Boy, is he developing. They say the only championship player of the last 2 seasons to have scored and assisted 10 plus goals of each department. I think he'd be a really good signing, but he's not able to get on the ball in this particular match.
Murphy looking to take on Rollerslev for pace, but Rollerslev was clever there, just put his body across and bumped him off and won the ball. And now Azaz will try and bring it forward, but it's quickly won back by Dazelle, who goes all the way back towards Ben Killip, the stand-in Pompey goalkeeper, replacing the injured Nicholas Schmidt, following a rather rash headlong dash from his goal. And the Austrian picked up an injury after colliding with his own player, Conor Ogilvie. Now Poole. High ball over the top. Bishop flicks on, looking for Murphy. Murphy gathers, comes in field, and it may deflect into the penalty area. Harwood Bellis taking no chances to hammer the ball away, and it will be a throw-in on halfway for Pompey.
Yeah, but you know what I don't like, Nigel? When that ball's coming in, it's a 50 yards diagonal ball.
And we've got an idiot on the pitch here who is heading towards the Pompey fans, and that is the last of the football he will see today, as he's swooped on by a combination of stewards and police officers Well, that's a waste of money.
Well, idiot. So let's not even spend any more time talking about him. Yeah, I just that crossfield 50-yard ball. The centre-half's got so much time to make that challenge. And it was Jack Stevens who just dropped off Colby Bishop and then was able to get the flick on. That's not what I want my centre-halves to do. You know, if you're not going to win the ball, that's one thing, because then the full-back and the other centre-half should just come in behind and tuck round and say, well, what if he loses the ball? But I want my centre-half to be getting through the centre-forwards, not dropping off and giving him a free header.
Throw in for Pompey, which Conor Ogilvie will take, one of the players who has been on the journey through the lower leagues, formerly with Gillingham, and earned the right to play in the Championship with Pompey. Shaughnessy quickly heading forward, but Murphy beaten to it by Rudislev on the far side. And it's clipped in field by Fellows, but it's a dangerous ball played blind, and it's gathered by Swanson. And now Swift in the centre circle plays a good ball wide to Segicic. He comes in field again onto the left foot down the right hand side. Swift again, and Segicic is occupying pockets of space, but he is rather compressing the play when he makes that move in field. Now Murphy with a high diagonal ball into the penalty area, which is claimed unchallenged by Bazunu.
Southampton, I mean, Will Steele must be thinking, my goodness me, the tactics not working at all. But if they're not working, you need to have a plan B. You need to do something a little bit different. You keep on doing the same thing, you get the same results. Midfielder's not showing well enough. Then it's just a long ball up to Cameron Archer, and that's too long. But the two central defenders, big central defenders, and Pompey just winning the ball back, and Pompey getting to the knockdowns first.
Coming up during half-time, we'll be looking into the speculation surrounding Ruben Sellers. 5 defeats in a row in the Championship for the new Sheffield United manager, and there was some talk he could be leaving Bramall Lane very soon, and Chris Wilder is said to be open to a return, which would make you wonder why they sacked him in the first place.
Well, might be the best thing for him and the club as well, to at least let the owners do what they want. See, it hasn't worked. Okay, Chris. And knowing Chris like I do, he'll say, well, okay, we've got to do it my way.
But of course, a group of players have been signed towards the end of the transfer window, and Chris Wilder will have to work with them, and of course, more importantly perhaps, they'll have to work with him. Now Segicic in a central area, onto the left foot. Swift wide towards Swanson again, and Swift looking for options and movement ahead of him, and he is a much better player when he's got players offering. Of course, he was the assist king for Reading in the Championship a few years ago before moving on to West Brom. Murphy, and now Chaplin back towards Murphy again. That's cleverly done. Murphy swings at the cross, and it's turned aside at the far post by Ryan Manning. Segicic was lurking, and Manning had to deal with that.
Yeah, it's a wonderful ball again for Murphy in the left foot, and I can tell you from experience, it's horrible coming up against a winger that is basically two-footed. Can go either way. And this time he just took a touch and he's whipped it round. Bazunu's completely beaten. Really good defending from Manning, but Segicic has to gamble at the far post. He didn't.
Corner kick for Pompey. Laid short to Chaplin, right corner of the penalty area. Back again now towards Dazelle. He checks back onto his left foot. It's flicked on by Ogilvie. They didn't make the most of that, and it's cleared away. 4 minutes to play in the first half. Swanson though, wide towards Murphy again. On the left-hand side, Azaz will challenge him. Murphy with the cross. Rudislev heads back towards his own goal. Bazunu comes through the crowd to punch away. Dazelle tries to head it square for Ogilvie. Swift then wins it back ahead of Archer. It's all very scrappy. The referee choosing not to give a free kick initially, but then he does for the challenge on Shea Charles.
Well, I tell you what, Will Steele must be thinking we just need to get into half-time at 0-0. And what, we've got 3.5 minutes. There's got to be another 5 or 6, surely, added on. This has been all Portsmouth in the first half. Been so impressed by them. Again, both with and without the ball, their pressing is so good. Southampton giving the ball away. It looks so dangerous both out wide and even down the middle as well. Very disappointing, I said it earlier. When you're on top, especially against a team like Southampton, have to try and score when you are the better team.
Fellows having his shirt pulled there by Ogilvie on the far side. The Saints right, and it will be a free kick, and Fellows has only really had one opportunity to take on Ogilvie so far. He went beyond him and delivered a cross, but Saints have not really functioned as an attacking force at all.
And Fraser hasn't had, don't remember one time him going at his fullback, Swanson. And again, it's another ball that's high up to Archer. I mean, give him a little bit of a chance. If you're going to try and play it up to him, and it's a long ball, drop it short. So the centre-half has to come through the centre-forward. He's strong enough to be able to handle and hold off these Pompey defenders if the ball's on the ground, but not when the ball's in the air.
Ebony Salmon has equalised for Aston Villa against Chelsea at Villa Park in the WSL. Manchester United still 2 up at London City Lionesses, and it's 0-0 between Leicester and Liverpool. Everton against Spurs kicks off at 2 o'clock. Killett, who has had pretty much nothing to do since coming on to replace the injured Nicholas Schmidt. And now Murphy again delivering another cross into the penalty area, and Bishop on the volley sends it wide, and he knows it was a great chance because Stevens just in front of him missed the cross, and Bishop unmarked 8 yards out failed to hit the target.
Again, it's another vicious ball coming in for Murphy. And I think Stevens has just got a touch on it, which meant that the ball's gone towards Bishop there. And he's just held out, and I don't think he's expected it. Perhaps would have been better to take a touch.
Now Fraser. He was caught by Swanson, but is quickly back to his feet to deliver a cross in. Fellows challenging at the far post, but the ball rather loops off the top of his head, and then Ogilvie was fouled by Archer, and it will be a free kick for Pompey. And we have a minute of normal time to play in the first half, but there will be extras for the injury to Nicholas Schmidt, the Pompey goalkeeper, and there's going to be a yellow card here shown to Zach Swanson for that earlier challenge on Fraser. Although credit to Fraser, he was quickly back to his feet looking to get on with things.
Yeah, absolutely. Credit to the referee for allowing it to play on. He rightly should have done. That's because Ryan Fraser did get up very quickly. When I was actually thinking maybe he should have gone down and let his fullback have a yellow card and then have a set piece, but the fact he's got a yellow card anyway, you know, when he gets the ball, it's not happened enough, but when should know now that you can have the pace of him. But give me the ball. If I'm Ryan Fraser, I'm saying that every single time. Give me the ball, then go away. Let me have a one-on-one every single time, especially now he's on a yellow card.
7 added minutes at the end of the first half here. Pompey with 60% of the possession and 7 shots on goal. Saints have had 1, but 15 of the last 16 Pompey wins have come with less than 50% possession. They often like to play on the counter-attack, but they need to improve on their away form this season. Only Plymouth had a worse away record this season than Pompey's 14 points in the previous campaign, as another yellow card is shown by Matt Donoghue. Howard Bellis is having words with the referee. And Saints initially got a free kick, and then it was a shove by Howard Bellis trying to get hold of the ball, which was all rather unnecessary to put himself on a yellow card.
Yeah, especially when you've just won the free kick. Now your centre-half who's been under pressure in the first half. Again, one mistake, one rash tackle, one lunge, and you don't win the ball and you're off.
We are 90 seconds into added time, and it's 0-0 here in the South Coast derby, but Pompey have been much the better side. John Messino applauds beneath us as Murphy tries to break again down the left, but the challenge comes in by Rulislev. And both Stevens and Harwood Bellis outnumber Colby Bishop, but they've both had a very difficult first half here. The number of crosses into the penalty area they've had to deal with. But you just wonder if Pompey have missed an opportunity. Segicic coming in field again. Dazelle up alongside Bishop on this occasion, but Pompey choose to be more conservative, and it's wide towards Murphy. Now the early ball forward, but Bishop had stayed where he was, and it's claimed by Bazunu.
Not a bad ball, not looking, just that one over the top. Bishop wasn't quite in place, and he puts his hand up saying, yeah, okay, I should have been there.
And it's cleared away on this near side. And some breaking news on TalkSport 2, and some really tragic news as well. The former world boxing champion Ricky Hatton has died at the age of 46. There'll be more on that across the TalkSport network. Fraser with the ball into the penalty area towards the far post, and it's headed away by Ogilvie, and it will be a corner kick.
That's horrible news, really horrible news. Thoughts go out to his family, of course, and people close to him.
And if you retune to both TalkSport and Talk Radio and Times Radio, there'll be more on that throughout the afternoon, I am sure. The news that Ricky Hatton has died at the age of 46, a great boxing champion who sadly is no longer with us.
I saw him fight Mayweather in Vegas.
Fraser with the corner kick here, headed away by Bishop. And then a slip on the edge of the penalty area from Fellows, and Segicic now can lead the counter-attack for Pompey over the halfway line. Murphy is further forward inside the penalty area, but the ball to try and find him was poor, and it's gathered by Bazunu. And Bazunu quickly bowls out. You can hear the urgency from the Southampton fans now as he finds Manning, but Manning looked upfield and there was no one to hit.
Yeah, look, if it's not on, don't go for it. Too many times in his first half. And it hasn't really been on, or Archer's not in proper position. Ball's just gone up there, and Pompey have won it back. At least Southampton are keeping it a little bit, but they really haven't given the fans here hardly any chances in this first half to get behind them and show that what this game means to them. And massive credit to Massinho and his Pompey side for that.
Fellows back to Rulislev, and now Bazunu. And we still have 2 minutes of added time to play at the end of this first half. 0-0 the scoreline here in the South Coast derby. And Bazunu, who has been the busier goalkeeper, he's had more to do than both of the Pompey goalkeepers put together. Now Charles, wide to this near side, and Manning trying to pick out Archer again, but it's a high tariff ball again. They're always looking for that one pass to find Archer, and we saw a few moments ago Archer winning the ball in the air, but he's nodding the ball down to nobody because he's on his own. Yeah, look, first of all, it's great pressing from Portsmouth, both from the person on the ball, but also not allowing them to slip the balls into either Charles or Downs, who can then try and play in the three attacking players or put Archer in a better ball, because you're not 50 yards away, then you're 20 yards away. So it all comes from Portsmouth. But Southampton have to find a way. They have to move the ball quicker. They have to get their body in positions where they can receive the ball, and they're not just knocking long balls again and just giving the ball away. Now Fellows coming in field to find Downs. Downs has got support further wide from Charles, and now Fellows delivers the ball in, and finishes with a shot which was deflected by Archer. I don't think it was going in from either of them, but it was a comfortable save for Killett.
But that's what they need to be doing a lot more. Not just knocking the long ball 50 yards. It's almost like they are intimidated by this game and feeling under pressure. Now have the confidence to do what you'd normally do in a game. Get the ball, 5-10 yard passes, run off the ball, 1-2s. Get yourself in a position where, you know, whether, I'm not sure whether it had gone in, and it was a simple save in the end for Killett, but so much better. Just as we're coming up to half time, best chance of scoring for them, really.
But Portsmouth have a free kick here, almost midway inside the Southampton half, for some pushing on Colby Bishop. John Swift is over it. And Saints have pulled everybody back with seconds of the 7 added minutes remaining. And Swift plays it wide to this near side, but Chaplin was penalised for catching Manning as the ball went across, and once again Pompey waste a set piece. And Bazunu will take the free kick, which could be the final action of an elongated first half here. No goals, but the best opportunities really all falling to Portsmouth, including Andre Gazelle striking the crossbar. Bazunu's free kick, and that is half time. Southampton already out for the second half here at St Mary's. Portsmouth now joining them, and at the moment, first look, Scott Minto, there don't appear to be any changes, but the fourth official does have the board primed, and I do think Conor Ogilvie may not be able to continue. He has not re-emerged, and Jordan Williams, who was warming up in the first half, will come on. A right back will play as the left back for Portsmouth.
Yeah, obviously not ideal. I think with Ogilvie going down early in that first half, where Schmidt himself had to go off the back of that, really a head challenge, and maybe he's just feeling a bit dizzy, cannot take any risks when it comes to the head. So it's certainly another substitution that Pompey wouldn't have wanted. We'll have to wait and see how indeed Jordan Williams will be playing as a left back. It's another opportunity for Southampton to take advantage of, but they certainly didn't take advantage of anything in the first half.
So that clash between Nicholas Schmidt and Conor Ogilvie has led to both of them ultimately going off by half-time in this game, as Southampton get the second half underway here under grey skies at St Mary's, live on TalkSport 2. Their team is Bazunu in goal, the back four Rudoslev, Stevens, Harwood-Bellis and Manning, Charles holding in midfield along with Downs, with Fraser, Azaz and Fellows in support of Archer in attack. The Pompey team now, after those changes, is Killip in goal, Swanson, Shaughnessy, Poole and Williams are now the back four, Gazelle and Swift in midfield, with Chaplin, Segicic and Murphy in support of Bishop. Saints in the red and white stripes, attacking the goal away to our left in the second half, as Chaplin has been taken out there by Stevens in the centre circle, and he joins Harwood-Bellis in the book.
A great little turn there, wasn't it? Stevens completely done. He's stepping out as the ball's played in. Fantastic bit of skill from Chaplin, and he knows straight away, nowhere near the ball. It's a definite yellow. Not what he'd want to be doing at the start of the second half.
Nope. Both of the central defenders now for Southampton will be managing those yellow cards, and that's always a risk, as Killip, wearing all yellow, defending the Pompey goal away to our right, clears downfield. Bishop heads it down towards Murphy, quickly on towards Williams inside the penalty area, and the cross in is headed away by Manning, who had to make that with Chaplin ready to pull the trigger.
Did really well. There were two Pompey players at the far post, but Manning made sure, read the situation, he got there first. Good play from Portsmouth down the left-hand side, just overloading, and a good ball in. As I say, that's a really good full-back play from Manning.
And Williams will take the throw-in on this near side, in towards Bishop, who's having a real wrestling match there with Stevens. They both go down, and the decision goes Southampton's way. Bishop can't believe it, and he's imploring the referee, Matt Donoghue, to give it the other way, or give nothing, but it will be a free kick for Southampton with 2.5 minutes played here on TalkSport 2, still 0-0.
Yeah, but I don't think it's something that Pompey fans, well, certainly John Mousinho, will be too worried about. He's enjoying that physical battle, Bishop, and as I said to you before, when those sort of diag balls are coming in, Stevens is dropping off more than trying to win the ball. Where Pompey's two central defenders have dominated Archer, that's certainly not been the case the other way round.
In the WSL, it's now London City 0, Manchester United 4. Melvin Mallard with 2 quick goals at the start of the second half. Villa still holding Chelsea 1-1 early in the second half at Villa Park, and it's 0-0 between Leicester and Liverpool, as Archer is beaten to it by Shaughnessy, who plays it back towards Killip, who quickly clears downfield. Pompey in their blue shirts, white shorts and red socks, as Harwood-Bellis has given the ball away, and it's worked wide by Giselle towards Murphy. Murphy further down the line for Williams, but Fellows comes back to do some defending. Williams, though, keeping him under pressure, and Fellows rather gets his feet in a tangle there, runs the ball over the line, and it will be a throw-in by the corner flag on this near side.
Yeah, well, firstly, I think Murphy just underplayed the pass a bit with Williams running on. Fellows did well, helped out his team, dropped off. That's what he should be doing, but Williams put him under pressure.
Now Williams again on this near side, swung in by Giselle into the penalty area, cleared away by Fraser. And here is Archer now, all on his own, looking to attack, and Shaughnessy ensures he goes no further with a sliding challenge on the far side. And one thing I would say, Scott, at the moment with 50 minutes played, Southampton seem to have the better players, but I think Pompey are playing the better football.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We talked about that, didn't we? And I was asked in the press room beforehand, how do you see it? And it's what I said. I said, look, individually and collectively, you would think Southampton do have the better players, but it's not about that. It's how you play as a team, and can you rise to the occasion and handle the occasion. I think Portsmouth have done that so well. And yeah, they're quite happy to get the ball down, get the ball out wide, whip balls in. Southampton just knocking the ball long because they're not able to have the composure under pressure with the Pompey pressing, and in the end just giving the ball back. But we keep on saying it, it's 0-0. Whatever we say about who's playing well and who's not, it's 0-0. And Southampton are capable of a bit of brilliance.
Azaz now clipping it over the top for Archer, left hand side of the penalty area, but in the end Swanson keeps up with him, just gets a toe in, and it will be a corner kick for Saints on the far side as the autumnal sunshine tries to break through here at St Mary's. Manning will take it, and Pompey pull everybody back behind the ball.
And that's what I'm talking about, Nigel, just that simple ball over the top, really good, a good movement, and actually with a better touch wouldn't have given Swanson the chance to come back and kick it out for a corner.
This will be an outswinger from Manning. Charles and Harwood-Bellis looking to make the late run into the penalty area, but the referee just coming over to sort something out between Swanson and Stevens. And Manning now will play this ball high into the box, headed away at the near post by Segicic. Fraser with a stooping header tries to play it back towards Manning, but gets it all wrong, and in the end all he can do under pressure from Murphy is go all the way back to Bazunu. And now Rulislev back to Bazunu again, and it's lumped long down the centre. Azaz challenging in the air, and the back header is a mistake there from Paul. Archer around the goalkeeper, plays it across, but there's no one there to finish, and it's hammered away by Williams, and Saints should have scored there. Now an opportunity at the other end, as it's Segicic who brings it forward, but a poor ball from him wide to the far side, and Charles can bring the ball away. Archer now on the far side again. Once again he's pulling on to Paul, and Charles will work it further wide to Fraser. Archer makes the move into the penalty area. Fellows already waiting. Fraser having his shirt pulled there by Swanson, but now the shot fired in low by Charles and cleared away by Swanson at the near post.
Well, I'll tell you what, Southampton have just had their best chance of the whole game, and the game's opening up now, and you feel it's better for Southampton than Portsmouth.
Rulislev now down the right hand side. Fellows in support, infield towards Azaz, back towards Fellows again, comes infield onto the left foot, may think about the curler, drives it in low, but it's blocked by Giselle on the edge of the penalty area, and Saints will have a throw-in.
You know, Cameron Archer did really well, but so too did Killip. He didn't go down, he didn't commit, he didn't give away a penalty, and he made sure that Archer went on the outside, which meant that he couldn't then shoot straight away. So as he's put the ball back in, you're absolutely right, there were no Saints players there. There were 3 Pompey players who got there before any Saints player at all. So good defending in the end, but that's what I'm talking about. 0-0, they've been by far and away the worst team with the 2, but they're still very much in this match.
52 minutes played, as Azaz is found by Harwood-Bellis on the far side, the left. He'll come in field beyond Swift, square to Downs now. And Fellows is the option on the right. Fellows again comes in field. Left-footed ball high into the penalty area. Swanson rising to head the ball away. But the ball not sticking with Bishop or Chaplin further downfield now as Saints continue to press. And on the far side it's hooked away downfield, but now one back. And here is the scurrying figure of Fraser again. Back in field to Charles. Charles has got down square of him. And it's back towards the shaven-headed Harwood Bellis. Manning. And now Azaz, who clearly has license to roam in this Southampton team. But he's closed down by Swanson, and it will be a throw-in to Saints. And it's almost as if someone has flicked a switch and they've started playing football.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was getting to the stage where Will still really seriously needed to be thinking about substitutions, but just in the last 5 minutes or so, Southampton have kind of opened the game up, and actually it's Portsmouth who are quite happy to keep it a very controlled, low-paced game, I wouldn't say low intensity, but certainly making it difficult for Southampton to open them up. Southampton kind of want this crazy game now, because at the moment, the way it's gone so far, we've not been in it. Maybe we'll just have a little bit more space for the Saints. And certainly Archer's seen a couple of opportunities now.
Well, there's been a degree of chaos off the field and the atmosphere all day, but maybe that's just creeping into the playing area now, which will certainly benefit Saints as it's brought forward by Stevens. The Cornish Pirlo up towards the halfway line. And now Röderslev. And the challenge coming in on Fellows, and one back by Murphy. Murphy now was just bumped off it by Röderslev, and it will be a free kick for Pompey on this near side.
That's a yellow card. He's not got anywhere near the ball.
Challenge from behind.
Challenge from behind. He's not even attempted to play for the ball.
Well, Nicholas Schmidt is now watching on the bench. The Pompey goalkeeper has started the game, and his right wrist is in a cast, which may be problematic beyond today.
I just think, Southampton missed the trick. It was only sort of a 5-minute window, but you're just sort of thinking at the time, look, just shoot, get hold of the ball, press. First of all, get the ball, and they weren't. They were just dropping off. And then when you do get the ball, try and get into a position where even 30 yards out, you can have a strike and get it towards the keeper's right.
Now Pompey with an opportunity. It's driven low into the penalty area. Spins out as far as Murphy. On the left-hand side now. Murphy with a low ball in. It's blocked by Fellows, and it will be a throw-in.
Yeah,
Pompey there had so many bodies in the area.
They did, and it was poor defending from Southampton, but just because they had an amount of numbers in there, they managed to get away with that one. I mean, look, this game may well end 0-0, but still it could go either way. I genuinely mean that. Southampton wouldn't deserve to win it the way they've played up until now, but I've already seen them create a chance with Cameron Archer. Portsmouth need to actually start testing Bazuna. I don't think they've done that enough. They've defended really well, they've pressed really well, they've attacked well when they've got the ball out wide, but they actually haven't tested the keeper enough.
And they've got two centre halves on yellow cards, so
yes,
get down the sides.
Absolutely.
Well, Saints have a throw-in, level with the edge of the Pompey penalty area, down the left. Manning takes it, now gets it back in towards Azaz, laid back to Downs. It's all very tight. Archer, though, does well to hook it on towards Azaz in the left wing position, looking to tease Swift. The cross in took a deflection, headed away by Shaughnessy, and he was being fouled as he cleared, and it will be a free kick. 57 minutes played here on TalkSport 2. Still Southampton 0, Portsmouth 0. Game Day Live with Natalie Sawyer will be underway in 10 minutes time over on TalkSport, joined by Perry Groves and Mickey Gray with all the goals as they go in from the Premier League and the WSL. Burnley Liverpool underway at 2 and the Manchester Derby at 4:30 as Murphy hooks it into the area for Pompey down the left, but Chaplin has stayed where he was. And then Tuesday night, TalkSport 2 brings you the Champions League once again. Athletic Bilbao against Arsenal, followed by Brentford against Aston Villa in the Carabao Cup third round, and some huge games coming up this week all on the TalkSport network. Here's a chance now for Azaz. Sways into the penalty area. Brilliant challenge though by Swanson to rob him when he seemed certain to get a shot in. Now a counter-attack for Portsmouth. Swanson wide towards Segacic, and John Messina just telling his team to calm it down.
Yeah, brilliant tackle, brilliant covering, brilliant reading of the game from Zach Swanson. It's actually a fantastic little over from Cameron Archer, who, just by letting the ball go, took out a Pompey defender. And Azaz, how many times have we seen it in a Middlesbrough shirt, pick up the ball there and end up with an assist or a goal for himself. But because of Swanson's great defending and great reading of the game, didn't allow him to get the ball out wide and get a shot off himself or lay the ball off. But second half's opening up a bit more now, isn't it?
Bishop does well to rise above Stevens. Now it's hooked down the centre. An untidy challenge by Harwood Bellis on Segacic inside the area, but nothing given by the referee, and play continues.
Yeah, I don't think it was. There's no doubt about it. There was a bit of physical contact. You've got a guy who's probably about 6'3", 6'4" against a guy who's probably about 5'8", so any contact will go down. Yes, contact, but no, not a foul.
Harwood Bellis finding Stevens again. I think I called him the Cornish Pirlo. Of course, it's the Cornish Maldini before people write in.
I was thinking, I remember Pirlo playing as a centre-half.
They're doing Cornwall. Here is Stevens now. And Fraser whips it wide to this near side. Azaz with a clever ball into Fellows, who tries to drive it low. It's blocked by Dizelle and it's behind for a corner. And Southampton beginning to turn up the pressure here.
I think you should take Pirlo or Maldini, either of those, to be in the same breath as some statement. But yeah, this is much better from Southampton. Look, they couldn't have been any worse than they were in the first half. They were always going to get better. I still wonder whether Will's still thinking, like, do I make changes? There's no doubt about it, he has options off the bench, but this is a much better second half performance than it was in the first.
An hour played, 0-0 on TalkSport 2. Fraser with the corner, high towards that far post, and it was Stevens flying in late, but didn't make contact. Now Manning returns it back into the penalty area, headed away as far as Fraser again, who tries to go around the back, and he's unable to keep the ball in play, and it's behind for a goal kick, and that will just release some of the pressure for Pompey.
Yeah, I think they need to go back to what they were doing beforehand. Just seeing a picture of Conor Ogilvie, and that bump is getting bigger and bigger.
On the side of his head, a real egg, which came from a collision with his goalkeeper. Fellows was the Saints player involved, but there was barely any contact between himself and Ogilvie. It was Schmidt who clearly damaged his wrist on Ogilvie's forehead as the cross in from Chaplin is beyond and behind.
He's got some forehead, clearly, Conor Ogilvie, but surprised he hasn't got an ice pack on it. It's not going to get any smaller for the next 24, 48 hours.
But the bigger picture is Killett may get a run of games here. If there's a fracture, and even if there's bruising, then they'll have to be very careful with it. Swift, he's given the ball away to Fellows, his former West Bromwich Albion teammate. Rulislev, all the way back towards Bazunu. He hammers it downfield. Shaughnessy's header forward is straight to Downs, but in turn he gives it straight to Williams. And now Pompey will try and build again on the far side. And this is a team who won so few games away from home last season. They did look to be destined for a quick return to League One during the first half of the campaign, but they ended up 5 points clear of the relegation zone, which was maybe slightly under the radar, but a massive achievement for John Messina.
Yeah, I think it was brilliant after going up, and then you can't underestimate that fixture list at the start of the season was just absolutely horrendous. And actually they got a few more points, but still, not as much as you'd like, but a few more points than perhaps I would have expected. But then suddenly you're then going into games where everyone's saying, okay, well, these are the games you've got to win. That itself puts pressure on as well. So, really well done from Portsmouth in the way they sort of managed that season last season.
Now Fraser coming forward Down the Saints left again. He's got a Zaz in field. Charles, though, will play it back towards Manning. Manning with the crossing, hooked away at the near post by Paul. Straight back to Manning again, and now Fraser will try and attack Swanson, who's on a yellow card. The cross is lifted in over the head of Azaz. It'll come all the way out to Ruleslev, not known for his goals, and he's given the ball away to Murphy, and Murphy now can sprint clear over the halfway line for Pompey. Ruleslev, though, comes back with a challenge. Still is convinced it should be a throw-in to the Saints, but it goes Pompey's way.
Yeah, it should have been. Will still saw that as well. To be fair to the ref, he's got two players, and the ball's in front of the two players, so we can't quite see who had the final touch, but it was definitely a Southampton throw-in. But Ruleslev, just on the edge of the box, lost it, did well to recover to make sure Pompey didn't have a really good counter-attack.
Now Williams, I think he was caught there, he was, as he played it forward towards the edge of the Saints penalty area, and it will be a decent looking set piece here for Pompey, wide on the left hand side, midway inside the Saints half, and there'll be a yellow card shown as well for Flynn Downs.
Yeah, in tight games, set pieces, so important. To be fair, Southampton are quite a big side, but then so are Pompey, so it's all about the quality. Can you get that quality ball in and put the pressure on? And even if you don't get a proper header first time round, can you win the knockdowns and suddenly just bang, stick the ball in the net?
Difference in sartorial attire in the second half of the two coaches. Will still has the tracksuit and the gilet. John Messino in the polo shirt. Free kick. Flighted high by Dazelle towards the far post, and the header is wide. Well wide in the end, but it was a chance for Regan Poole.
Do you know what? That's a great opportunity. It really is. I know why he's done it so wide, because he's kind of coming back. It's a great ball in from where it is, and no one's actually picking him up. So he's just stopped. Perhaps another half a yard, and he would have been able to, or half a second, and manoeuvre his body a little bit more. Well, that's definitely a chance.
65 minutes played. Southampton 0, Portsmouth 0 on the home of the EFL. TalkSport 2. As Archer looks to come back and receive a high ball on the halfway line, and he was caught by Shaughnessy, and it will be a free kick for Southampton, who are heading for their third draw of the season. Only one win so far against Wrexham on the opening day. Archer was almost in behind Shaughnessy there. A ball played forward by Ruleslev, but Shaughnessy recovered well. And Missy Kern's own goal has put Chelsea 2-1 up at Aston Villa in the WSL. Leicester have also taken the lead. Emily Van Egmond against Liverpool. Leicester down to 10 players as well. And Manchester United still 4 up at London City. Finn Azaz tries to drive across him from the right, but it's blocked by Dazelle. And Azaz complaining to the assistant, Richard Woodward, that he was having his shirt pulled there, but nothing given. And it will be a throw-in for Southampton. And it'll be taken by Ruleslev, and then swirled in by Fellows towards Fraser at the far post, and it's then cleared quickly, but Fraser has it back again, and Charles slipped into the penalty area, but hammered to safety, long downfield by Regan Poole.
Yeah, second half, it's definitely been all Southampton, 74% possession. Not had a shot on target though, but neither have Pompey.
The long ball played forward again by Saint, straight into the arms of Killip, and he'll be very happy with that.
Yeah, so both sets of fans, or certainly the Pompey fans, but even Southampton fans in the second half can say it's not through lack of effort. It's just been that quality in the final third that we hadn't seen. Even with Portsmouth, as good as they were in the first half, they didn't test Bazunu enough.
Early free kick for Pompey, taken too soon, looking for Bishop, because the referee is showing a yellow card for the holding back by Mount Ruleslev.
It's another one.
Liverpool team sheet is out at Burnley. No Alexander Isak in the matchday squad today.
No surprise there.
Hugo Ekitike is leading the line, supported by Salah and Gakpo. As Pompey come forward again. 22 minutes to play. It's a good ball slipped into the area, almost found Gazelle, but quickly cut out by Harwood Bellis. And here is Fraser now on the counter-attack, quickly finding Azaz. He's just forced wide by his first touch, but he's got support now from Fellows. Rulislev further forward inside the penalty area, back though towards Downs, and now Azaz again, almost at walking pace, but he curls it in left-footed, way beyond everybody. Goal kick.
That was unlucky. It was actually really good movement from him on the counter-attack. He knew where the space was, so he ran towards that space. There was a diagonal ball for him. I wonder whether he could have tried to drive into the box and put the defenders under pressure. He didn't. And the ball managed to come back towards him, and as he's chopped on one side and come inside, created that half a yard, but the left foot cross in the end just way too high. And again, that pretty much sums up the whole game, really. It's been some good play, some good movement, good touches, but not enough quality in the final third.
Bishop now for Pompey, wide to the left-hand side, and Murphy, who's able to gather. He can take on Rulislev now into the penalty area, drives in the cross. It took a deflection off the Dane, and behind for a Pompey corner with 20 minutes to play.
Yeah, brilliant defending from the full-back. It's the last thing you want, someone like Josh Murphy running at you inside the box, but he stayed on his feet. And that's what Pompey need to do, though. Need to get the ball out wide as much as possible. Quite happy to get on the counter-attack now. It's exactly what they did. The ball was fizzed out to Murphy. One-on-one situation. Right, can you get past your full-back and whip a good ball in? In the end, as I say, good defending from Ruslev.
John Swift over the corner kick. Beyond the far post, headed away by Downs. Now Gazelle will control in front of those expectant Pompey fans. The crossing, though, a routine header away for Harwood Bellis up towards the halfway line, and Murphy going all the way back towards Ben Killip, who came on for the injured Nicholas Schmidt in the first half, although it was rather a self-inflicted injury which also took out Conor Ogilvie, the left back, and he wasn't able to go beyond half-time. Williams, who came on to replace him, down the line looking for Murphy. Murphy's been caught by Fellows, and he's come in for a bit of treatment recently, and it will be another free kick for Pompey just inside the Saints half.
He's been battered and bruised a bit, hasn't he, Josh Murphy? But he's got to keep on doing that. His full-back's on a yellow card, centre-half closest to him is on a yellow card, Finn Downs is on a yellow card. They can't afford to keep diving in, keep demanding the ball, taking his full-back on.
Killip clearing downfield again. Bishop beaten to it by Stevens. Azaz now gathering on the halfway line. He is wrestled to the ground, but play continues. It was Swift with a challenge, but now an opportunity for Downs. Downs, though, caught by Chaplin, but he won the ball cleanly. But here is Fraser down the left-hand side. Fraser's got three to hit inside the penalty area, and he doesn't find any of them. And Murphy will step in before Azaz. He clears with a crossfield ball, which rather put Segicic under pressure. Now Manning, very, very deep. Azaz tries to keep the ball alive, and he's done so. And now the shot fired in by Fellows, and it whistles over the angle via a deflection for a corner.
Yeah, it's brilliant defending. I'm not quite sure who it was. Got his body there. This is much better from Southampton. Been much better in the second half, but the pressure they've been putting on Pompey. Great little turn from Fellows, and a really important flick, because I don't think Killip's getting there.
Swift has received a yellow card for the rugby tackle earlier on Azaz.
That's exactly what it was.
And the corner comes to nothing, and Chaplin will bring the ball away, and he's got Murphy further forward, but the ball balloons out of play as Chaplin was caught there in the act of playing that ball downfield. And there are going to be changes, 3 of them made by Southampton here.
Yeah, very much attacking ones as well. Ross Stewart, Armstrong and Janda. You can see that Will Steele now, despite them being better in the second half, he thinks, yeah, we can make this even better now and go on and get the win. The confidence is there. I'll be slightly disappointed if I'm taken off. As I say, they've been much more improved in this second period, but yeah, there's no doubt about it. The finishers are coming off the bench now, and that's exactly what Will still wants them to do.
Well, Ben Killip is down, which is interesting, as he is the only goalkeeper that Pompey have got left. Now, it could be one of these injuries that miraculously disappears once the manager's spoken to the players, but we'll have to wait and see.
Had that yesterday.
Yeah.
At the Valley.
I was saying, yeah, the Kaminsky one, I mean, that was blatant. 10 seconds after the red card. Well, Cameron Archer is coming off to be replaced by Adam Armstrong. Ross Stewart also coming on. Flynn Downs will make way. And a debut here for Kasper Janda. The German, signed from Nuremberg, 22 years of age, can play as a midfielder or a centre-back, and it's Finn Azaz who comes off. So like for like, really, all over the pitch.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting how Janda, Armstrong, and who was the other one? Stewart. Yeah, can get themselves up to speed quickly in this fierce rivalry of a game and be the hero. And just as the substitutions of Southampton are being made, you can see that John Mousinho is, okay, you want to put your pawn there, I'll put mine here. Getting two subs at the ready.
Terry Devlin will be one of the players coming on as Fellows comes forward here for Saints with 15 minutes to play on TalkSport 2. 0-0 the scoreline. And the other player coming on for Southampton is Luke LaRue, the South African international, signed from Swedish football. And Terry Devlin is a fullback, Northern Ireland international, so we'll see where he will fill in. Hook forward now, and Bazunu coming outside his penalty area to make sure he got there before Segicic and Bishop. And here are the changes, and Swift, after the recent yellow card, will come off. He applauds the Pompey fans. And it will be Luke LaRue who replaces him. And Terry Devlin will also come on, and it's a defensive change because Adrian Segicic goes off. Devlin can play anywhere down the right hand side, and he'll be maybe slightly further forward than he's used to.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a reaction, John Mousinho, to the substitutions. Will Still was very attacking. And it feels now they can go on and get this win. And it's going to be interesting to see again. I'll talk about how the substitutes make an impact. Talk about the finishers. Can they finish?
Here is Devlin coming forward now. First involvement, and the long-range shot is comfortable for Bazunu, but it's a rarity in the second half because it's a shot on target.
Maybe a shot on target, Nigel, but I think you or I could have saved that one.
Yeah, I think Bazunu, if he was wearing a cap, he would have thrown it on it. Now Murphy, hooked forward again, but it's gathered by Bazunu. But it will go down as Pompey's first shot on target in the entire game.
Well, that's been Pompey's problem, hasn't it? I think they've been really good, especially in the first half, in every department, bar actually getting shots on target. Kind of important.
Armstrong now. Stewart ahead of him. Armstrong hits it left-footed. Excellent lunging challenge, though, by Paul to block on the edge of the penalty area. Stewart, who seemed to be permanently injured ever since he arrived at Southampton, but will hope now to be able to get a run of games. As the cross into the penalty area nearly finds him, but diving in was Shaughnessy to head away. Now Manning on the far side. Charles finding Fraser. Fraser in towards Stewart, and Williams stooping to clear, and Devlin just happy to hoof it long downfield. Bishop was the only player forward. rather isolated, and Bazunu's now got time to gather way outside his penalty area and find Harwood Bellis.
Yeah, and I think it shows how much under pressure they are right now, that Devlin wasn't even looking for Bishop at all there. We're just trying to get rid of it, relieve a little bit of pressure. But this is where, if you're going to play two up front, then go long. Do what you were doing in the first half. You've got Ross Stewart, as tall as he is.
Quickly taken throw in for Saints on the far side. Armstrong, who scored 25 goals 2 seasons ago in the Championship, including the winner in the playoff final. He works it wide, the cross is delivered in, but again Pompey will clear. And Armstrong is one of those Darren Huckabee type players who looks really good in the Championship but never quite manages to step up.
Yeah.
There's been a few of those in recent years.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, they said that about Alexander Mitrovic, and then he was able to prove it.
Yeah, absolutely. I suppose it does depend on the players around you as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Armstrong now looking to flick the ball on, and he's done so for Fellows. But another brilliant challenge defensively from Pompey in the second half. Jordan Williams, this time, if he'd mistimed that, it would have been a penalty, but he got there first, and it's only a corner.
Yeah, he's done really well. And when Armstrong somehow got a little flick on, and Fellows is running in, it's a really tight angle, so it would have been difficult to actually shoot and score from there. Well, we have seen it, but he could have whipped it across. But Williams hasn't allowed him at all. It's great full-back play. He's come on, hasn't he, in the second half, and he's done really well, to be fair to him, from a defensive point of view.
Fraser will take the corner kick for Saints on this near side, headed away unchallenged by Williams at the far post, and then hooked forward by Ruleslev. Plenty of air on that, maybe too much from a Saints point of view. Chaplin losing out to Fellows, but Chaplin slides in to just hold him up, if not win it back. And now Fellows again has got Yanda in support. Yanda works it wide towards Fraser, then looks to hit the byline himself and runs the ball out of play. He's convinced it should be a corner, but maybe a bit of codology there as a goal kick has been given. And we have less than 10 minutes to play here on TalkSport 2, and it's still 0-0.
Yeah, we're getting to the stage where one goal wins this. You know, it's been a really tight game. Pompey much better in the first half, Southampton better in the second. Not really been quality chances, well, not too many of them anyway. Just 10 minutes plus injury time. As tight as this game has been, you do get the feeling one goal wins this.
The 18-year-old Jay Robinson will be coming on soon for Southampton, along with Leo Scienza, one of the new signings. It'll be a debut for the Brazilian, who was 27 years of age yesterday, signed from Heidenheim in Germany. Devlin executing a clever turn on the far side, but then giving the ball away, as Nikita Paris has pulled a goal back for London City at home to Manchester United in the WSL. 4-1 is now the scoreline in favour of Mark Skinner's team, as Saints are caught offside on the far side. Still Villa 1, Chelsea 2, Leicester 1, Liverpool 0, as Fraser comes off to be replaced by Robinson, England under-18 international. And Scienza will make his debut in the place of Tom Fellows.
Well, you can see that he's trying to go for it now, isn't he? He's made all his subs. Can't do much more, Will still. They stayed in the game at half-time, or in the first half when they were really, really poor. Have stepped it up in the second. Even then he's trying to make his substitutions. Very, very attacking substitutions as well. He wants to go on and win the game. It's just very difficult to break down this Pompey side.
Armstrong with a nudge there on Shaughnessy inside the Saints half, and it's a free kick for Pompey, which was rather unnecessary. And here is Murphy, delivers across into the near post. It's a great chance, and it's wide. Devlin never really got hold of the shot, and it bobbled across the 6-yard area. Everybody watched it almost in slow motion. It was wide, but the flag was up anyway.
Well, I'm going to look at a replay here and see who was offside. Yeah, definitely. It's a good decision from the referee's assistant. He wasn't deviling himself. It was Bishop. What a ball. We saw a few of those in the first half from Murphy. Haven't seen any in the second. And that is proper wingers play. Just get half a yard, don't have to beat a full-back, whip it in, suddenly put the opposition defence under pressure. Bishop just offside, but much better from Portsmouth.
7 minutes to play. Murphy on the ball again. And he was fouled by Yanker, and you can hear what the home crowd around us think about that challenge. Yanker holds his head, he can't believe it either, but it's a free kick for Portsmouth. Will Still has had his say, and Matt Donoghue will show him the yellow card.
I don't mind this. This is Southampton versus Portsmouth. We want to see passion, and Will Still certainly showing that. He doesn't believe that was a foul. I think Murphy almost sort of jumped up with the challenge. I'm not sure it was a foul. He certainly got the ball. Yes, there was contact, but you can make... He's just jumped. He's kind of dived into him and gone up and over. Because it looks theatrical, he's given a free kick. Will's still not happy with that at all.
Well, the flag's up for offside from the free kick anyway, so... Well, the conversation's still continuing. And Steve Martin, the fourth official, is getting it in the neck from both sides at times, although, as we always say, it's nothing to do with him.
No. Not me, Gov.
No.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Now Killett coming outside his penalty area to hammer the ball away. And he got there first. Came out in a similar manner to Schmidt in the first half, which led to his injury. As we close in on the final 5 minutes here. And it's been a typical local derby in which the occasion has often really inhibited the quality of the football. But there's still time for someone to be a hero. Robinson with the cross into the penalty area, headed away by Poole, and it will be a throw-in for Saints on this near side. Rulislev will take it. In towards Robinson. He's done well to deliver the cross from a very tight angle. Scienza and Armstrong unable to gather. Scienza then catching Devlin, and it will be a free kick. Devlin made the most of it, but I think it was a free kick.
Yeah, Scienza's not happy. And look, it's not been quite the real ferocious Southampton Pompey that I was perhaps expecting, and maybe the atmosphere itself. It's a wonderful stadium here, and it does lend itself to a good atmosphere. I think the fact that Pompey started so well in the first half meant the Saints fans couldn't really get behind their team. Maybe it'll be
visceral at Fratton Park.
Absolutely, just about to say maybe it would be more atmospheric at Fratton Park, but I think the second half stats pretty much sum it up really. Look, both teams have tried to go for it. 5 shots to 4, but actually only one on target between them, and that was that one that you or I could have saved.
Well, from a free kick on the far side, Killip has sent it straight out of play. 30,889 is the crowd here today. But I've been lucky enough to do South Wales derbies, South Yorkshire derbies on TalkSport 2 in recent years, and this has really been in a similar sort of category in which the colour and the noise are great, but the football maybe leaves something to be desired. The fear of losing, I think, has come into it now with 4 minutes to play.
Well, I actually think, with the first half, I think the occasion, if you can say, almost got to Southampton more so than Portsmouth, because Portsmouth absolutely played it tactically superbly. Southampton now have sort of shrugged off those initial nerves. In the second half they have stepped it up. Will Still, as I say, has made the substitutions, very positive ones as well, wants to go on and win the game, but I just think a lack of quality from both sides in the final third has meant that haven't been able to test the keepers enough.
And after such a rapid changeover during the transfer window, I'm sure Will Still would say, and I think it's fair enough to say, you can't really judge this Southampton team until they've settled down.
No.
And players have got used to each other. We've had the international break as well, so some players have been away. Murphy, he was being held there by Stevens, but not seen by the referee. And here is Harwood Bellis, all the way back to Bazunu. And I'm sure that Portsmouth, in their heart of hearts, would have taken a point before the game, but maybe not at the end of it.
Well, I think before the game for sure. Maybe at the end of the game they probably would, but at half-time they'll be thinking, look, the only disappointing thing about this half is that we actually haven't scored. I do think Southampton have been much better in the second half and been the better side, so I do think a draw probably would be a fair result, but this is football. It's not always about being fair, especially in a rivalry like this.
Very soon we'll find out how much added time there will be. Free kick for Southampton on the halfway line. Manning pumping it long into the penalty area. Poole rising to head the ball away. Charles will transfer it back wide to the left-hand side. And Manning. Now Charles again. And then Yanka. And Yanda will go all the way back towards Charles. And here is Ruleslev as we tick towards the 90th minute. The wind picks up around St Mary's, but now Devlin. He's got time to bring it down, squeezes the ball in field. And we were warned about high winds later on today, and I think they're just beginning to start. Skienza on the far side. All the way back towards Charles. Pompey have got everybody back behind the ball here. Manning down the line for Yanda, but I think it spun out of play. It did, and it will be a throw into Portsmouth.
Did you know that 0-0 was 8-1?
8-1?
You told that at half-time.
Wow. Well, if you look at local derbies, they do often end 0-0. But I suppose you look at the respective quality on both sides in terms of the attacking talent for Southampton, and you would believe they could score. But here is Bishop coming forward now. There'll be 4 minutes of added time. Murphy breaking into the penalty area for Pompey. Great ball in right through the 6-yard area and behind for a goal kick.
Oh my goodness, what more can he do? He put 2 or 3 wonder crosses in the first half. He's put a couple in already, and that one there, so inviting. Somebody's got to gamble and get on the end of it. To be fair to Bishop, he tries to make the movement towards the near post, and then someone's got to get it across the far post as well. It's a wonder ball. Defenders can't get there, keeper can't get there. Unfortunately for Murphy, no teammate can get there.
Well, it was a chance, and Pompey have had the better opportunities. Now it's played forward by Dazelle. Chaplin, and the ball is always on to Murphy down the left, but he now has it. Southampton want a free kick, but nothing given. Murphy attacking a backtracking Ruleslev deep into the penalty area, and the cross is blocked. It will be a corner kick, and Pompey finishing in the ascendancy.
Yeah, brilliant wing play again, but again, brilliant fullback play. Murphy's still down. As he's gone down the outside, he's clashed into the boards, he's got up now. And we really are in the territory of if you can get a goal, you get all 3 points. Although this fixture has, of course, known about late goals.
Murphy will take the corner kick here. If there's a goal now from anyone, they'll go down in South Coast folklore. The corner kick is deep, headed away towards the far post, where Dazelle will gather. He whips in a dangerous looking cross, and Bazunu claims well off the head of Paul. And Bazunu quickly clears downfield. Armstrong is the only player forward. Williams, though, will head the ball away. Devlin's got time to bring it down and hammers the ball forward, but Manning will control ahead of Chaplin and find Harwood Bellis. 2 minutes to play. Stevens coming forward now for Southampton again. And he's got room to move in field, but again Southampton rather static in the key areas. Manning, Skienza, was he fouled? He was. It's a free kick for Southampton, wide on the touchline left hand side. Manning over this.
Well, Southampton have been the better side in the second half, but once you bring on Ross Stewart and you go 2 up front with Armstrong as well, they've played less balls to their strikers than they did in the first half when Cameron Archer was on his own. So I'm not quite sure why, but look, again, in a great position here, set piece, get the ball in the box, and get the knockdowns, even if you don't win it cleanly first time.
Manning will take this. Pompey have every single blue shirt back defending. A goal now and it wins the game. Manning, it's very deep and it's headed behind by Dazelle for a corner in the final minute of added time.
Got to race over there. Quickly make sure. Then just compose yourself. Again, it's all about the quality. Portsmouth, very good defenders. Very good at set pieces. But if the ball comes in right, they might have no chance.
Scienza will take the corner kick here. Flighted high towards the penalty spot and the header is over the top from Harwood Bellis, and that may be the final chance.
Yeah, he's had to stop and then go back a little bit to head it, which makes it more difficult, but you have got to hit the target. I mean, he's standing there, there's no one picking him up or no one marking him as he heads the ball. He's got to read it as it's coming so that he's not leaning back immediately and therefore he doesn't have full control, because you would think that is it now.
Sam Kerr with her first goal following injury for Chelsea, 3-1 up at Villa in the WSL. Killip will take the goal kick here. And we're beyond the initial 4 minutes. Straight out of play from Killip, the referee with a look at the watch. Rulislev will take the throw in. And he's stolen more than a few yards, but it doesn't matter, it's all over. 0-0 the full-time score, and there's maybe just a reaction there between Will Still and John Massinho. The handshake just lingered slightly, but everybody walks away and everybody will leave with a point.